This
starting the
conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Yeah. So yesterday we have discussed how to connect with Snowflake and how we can load the data through web interface with some CSV file. Okay. And today I'll try to discuss how we can do the same activity with the help of SQL commands. Okay. And before that, I need to tell you this architecture. Okay. So that is, Snowflake supports two types of loading actually. One is bulk loading and second one is continuous loading. So what is bulk loading? So if you are using copy command manually and if you are trying to load the data into the target tables, then we call it as bulk loading. Bulk loading activity we do only once in a day. Okay. Continuous loading is nothing but if you want to load the data continuously for, let's say, for every 1 minute, you wanted to load the data into the target table, let's say for every 1 hour. Okay, then we call it as continuous load. Okay, Snowflake supports both bulk loading and continuous loading. Okay, so for continuous loading, we have to create a snow pipe. So this is separate topic actually. So this is not the right time to discuss about that. Okay, but we will discuss definitely about this. So we have to create snow pipe, and through snow pipe only we have to load the data into the target table. So this is the flow actually. Okay. So we will try to concentrate only on the bulk loading for now. So this part indicates the bulk loading. This part. Okay. You may have data in your local file system, and you may have data in your external stages, like in S3 or Azure Blob or GCP bucket like that. Okay. Now, if you want to load the data into the Snowflake table, you have to load the data first into internal stages. Into stages, I can say, not internal stages. Okay. From there only, we have to load the data into the target table. We don't have any direct mechanism to load the data from local file to table. You have to use these stages and you have to load the data into the target tables. That is only the way we have. Okay. Now, what is this stage? This is a temporary memory location, I can say. This is a temporary memory location. It's a temporary location where we maintain our data, I can say. See, if you order something in Amazon, what will happen? Consider this is source, this is destination, destination is customer, this is a vendor. For some vendor, you're trying to get the good. Okay, then what will happen? Before reaching it to the customer, they will try to put that goods or they will try to put that parcel in some warehouse location, right? Some temporary warehouse location, right? Am I correct? So that is nothing but your internal stage. Will they directly ship this good from source to destination? No, they have to intermediate. They have intermediate warehouses in between. In similar way, we don't directly load the data into the table. In between, we have to have stages. So through stage only, we have to load the data into the target table. Okay. Now, what are all the different types of stages we have here? Okay. So that is what I'm going to discuss. So for that, I'm just trying to explain here. Okay. So stages. Stages. Okay. High level, the stages are divided into two types. We have two categories actually here. So one is internal stage. I'm just writing here internal. Okay. And second one is external stage. Second one is external. Okay. And again in the internal, we have three more categories. One is table stage, and second one is user stage, Third one is named internal stage. Okay, again in the named internal stage, we have two more categories. One is permanent. Second one is temporary. This is the category. This is the classification. Okay, now I will tell you what is the use of each and every stage. What is the difference between them? Okay, so external stage. First, let me try to focus on external stage. If we have, let's say, if you have data in S3 buckets, let's say if you have data in S3 buckets or blob or let's say GCP bucket. If you have your data in these cloud systems, then you have to use external stage to load the data into the tables. Okay, anyway, we will discuss about it later very much. Okay, in detail, I can say. Okay, but for now, what you guys can remember, if at all, if you have data in your cloud provider, in cloud systems, then you have to use external stage to load the data into the target tables. For now, you just remember that. Okay. Now coming to the next one, internal. So in the internal, again, we have table stage, user stage, and the next one is named internal stage. Okay, table stage. So what is the advantage or what is the use of this particular stage? Whenever you create a table in Snowflake, let's say I'm trying to create a table EMP. I think yesterday we have created, right? So by default, Snowflake will try to create a table stage. By default, Snowflake will try to create a table stage. Okay, and that stage will be used to load the data into only the table, only into the table. You cannot load the data into another table with this warehouse. Got it? What I'm trying to say? So whenever you create the table in Snowflake, by default backend they will try to create a table stage, and that table stage will be used to load the data into only that table. Only that table. Okay, the query that we need to use to check the files in the stage is this one, a list at the rate. Okay, we need to use percentage symbol here, and we need to use the table name, so that it will give you the list of files that are there in the stage location. This command will give you the list of files that are there in the stage location. Okay, coming to the user stage. Whenever you create a user or whenever you create an account in Snowflake, by default, Snowflake will try to give you user stage. By default, you don't need to create it. Okay, and what is the use of this user stage? So let's say you're trying to do some, you're writing some queries in the worksheet, right? So where is that? Let's say you're trying to write. One second, I'll show you. So we are writing some queries in worksheet, right? So even after logging out and login again, still you're able to see that queries. Why you're able to see that queries? See, somewhere they're getting stored, right, in the backend. See, yesterday I think we have written these commands, right? Here, select current database and table creation and database creation and schema creation. These commands yesterday I've written, but still today also I can able to see those queries. Why I'm able to see these queries? Somewhere this is getting stored in the backend. So that backend location is nothing but your user stage. Okay, your actual worksheet data is getting stored in the user stage. Okay, so this stage we can use for loading the data as well. You can put your local file directly into the user stage. From there, you have to load the data into the table. So we can use this stage to load the data as well. Okay, so and one main important point that I'm trying to discuss here is, are we creating this table stage? Are we creating this user stage?
No.
Can we drop this table stage? Can we drop this user stage? No, that is not in your control. You cannot create this one, you cannot drop this one. Similar to this one also. This one also. You cannot create this one, you cannot drop this one. You cannot alter also. You cannot alter these stages. You cannot alter. Okay. So that is what I was saying. Okay. Now I wanted to have one stage where I can alter the properties, where I can create the stage, where I can drop the stage whenever I don't want. Then in that case, you have to use named internal stage. So here you will be having full flexibility. You can create it, you can drop it, you can change the properties, you can do whatever you want here. But here you cannot create it, you cannot drop it. You cannot create it, you cannot drop it. But here you can do it. Okay. Again, in the named internal stage, we have permanent and temporary. By default, if you don't mention anything, by default it will try to create permanent stage. Okay, that stage will not be dropped until you go and write the explicit command like drop table, drop stage name. Okay, and the temporary stage is once you create this stage, and the scope of this stage is 24 hours. That means after 24 hours, the stage will be purged or deleted from the backend automatically by Snowflake. We don't need to purge it. Snowflake will purge it automatically in the backend after 24 hours. Okay, so to query the files, to see the files in the internal stage, the command we have to use is a list at the rate, okay, the stage name. Okay, how we got this list command is, so if you want to see the folders and files in the particular folder in Linux, what is the command we use? What command we use to see the files and folders in the particular directory?
ls minus ntr
ls.
ls command, right? Similar to that one, we can write. We got this command from there only. We can even write ls command as well here. ls at the rate stage. Anything you can take. List or ls. ls full form is list only actually. Okay, list at the rate stage name. Okay, so for user stage, this is the command. Okay, list at the rate. So user stage you have to query like this, ampersand symbol. Sorry, tilde symbol with the tilde symbol. So for this one, table stage, percentage symbol at the rate percentage symbol we have to give, and stage name we have to give. Stage name is nothing but a table name here. Okay, with the same table name, it will try to create the stage name. Stage name is same as your table name only here. So here we don't have any special name here. So we will represent that one with the symbol called tilde. Okay, here the stage name anyway we are creating here. So that stage name we have to mention here. This is the difference between table stage, user stage, and named internal stage. Any questions here?
Could you please come again with the named interval stage?
Okay, so the disadvantage with the table stage and user stage is you cannot create it, you cannot alter it, and you cannot drop it. Okay, we need that flexibility in one of the stage. That stage is nothing but your named internal stage. Okay, you can alter the properties, you can create it, you can drop it if you don't want. Okay, again in the named internal, we have permanent and temporary. permanent means by default it will try to create or replace stage name. If we give that command, right, then automatically it will try to create the permanent stage if we don't mention. So if you want to create the temporary stage, right, create or replace stage, temporary stage name, that we need to mention keyword. Okay, if you create the temporary stage, the scope of the stage is 24 hours. After 24 hours, the stage will be paused automatically in the backend. You cannot access it after 24 hours. Okay, so the command to see the files in the stage location is this one: list @stage or ls@stage. Here also you can use ls. Don't think that only in the internal stage case we have to use that one. No, here also we can use ls@tilde. Here also we can use ls@%emp. I'm just giving emp as an example, sir. Don't think that for every table it will try to create a emp stage only. No, for employee table it will try to create this stage name as emp. If you create sales, then @sales we have to use. If you use customer, then @customer. So your stage name is same as your table name. Okay, got it? Yeah. Any other question?
What would be the name of the user stage? What is its name of the user stage if it gets created?
We don't have any name. That's what I was saying. So we have to represent with the symbol only.
Oh, okay.
So Snowflake understands that one. If you give the symbol, Snowflake understands it.
So if
okay, so let me try to give.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me try to do practically. Let me show you that. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just write like this: list @ tilde symbol. Okay. If I give like this, see what happening here. See worksheet data where it is storing. Worksheet data. This is the unique number of that worksheet. Worksheet data, worksheet metadata also is getting stored. So still you can use this stage for loading the data. Okay.
So how do we identify which, I mean, like this particular user stage is related to this particular table or something?
We don't have that concept. That's what, this is a generic one actually. That's what I'm telling. This is a generic one. So this stage is not belongs to any of the table.
Okay.
So you can use this stage to load the data into any table. But table stage, we have to use it for particular table. Named internal stage, you can load the data into any table using named internal. So we don't have any particular thing like that. Okay, we have to load the data only into this particular table. No. Once you load the data into, once you put your file in named internal stage, you can load the data into any of the table.
So in the real time, do we use table stage and user stage at any point?
Good question. In real time, we are going to use this stage only mostly. Named internal stage. Why? Because we have flexibility there. You can alter it.
Okay. If we run the command show stages, like how do we identify this is named, permanent, or temporary?
Sorry, can you come again?
Okay. If we run the command like show stages, so when it gives out the does it gives the user stage and name stage details also, or just
no, it will give only named internal stages.
Okay.
See why? Because for an account we will be having see, for every table you will be having one table stage. For every user in the account you will be having user stage.
Okay. There's a table level and there's a user level.
It's a user level, right? It's a table level. It is separate actually. This is separate.
So when we, I mean, like if I query on it, so let's say suppose some other user gave me permission to access his named internal stages. So how do I know whether it's a permanent or temporary?
I'll show you that one. Yeah. I'll try to load the data and I'll try to show you how to represent that, how to identify that.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So they will give the differentiation, definitely. We'll see that. Okay. And one more point is, let's say I have two users in my account, user one and user two. Let's say user one is having some files in the user stage. Now, can user two access those files? User two can access the files from the user one stage? No. No. So the stage cannot be shared between the users. For user one, it will be created separate stage, and for user two, it will be created. Snowflake will try to create a separate stage, and they cannot share the files simply like that. That cannot be accessible. Okay. Okay. So let's try to do it practically so that you'll all your doubts will get clarified. Okay. So now you understood, right? List at the rate percentage symbol. This will give us user stage where you're storing your worksheet data. So because of this stage only, still you're able to see these queries even after logout from the session. Okay. Now, how do you query the table stage? List at the rate. Okay. Percentage symbol we need to use. Where is the percentage? Yeah. Percentage symbol. And yesterday, I think we have created one table, right? That is employee table we have created, right? Now, what can I use here for seeing that stage? I need to use employee only here. EMP. Okay. So if I run this one, see, I'm able to query it at least. It is not throwing an error. It is not throwing an error like stage does not exist. I'm able to query it. See, name, size, MD5 last modified. I can put my file in the stage location. Okay. Now, how to create named internal stage? So this one user stage, did I create it? Did I write any command create or replace user stage name like that? No. By default, you get it. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Like, so when you run the list at the rate percentile EMP, so it gave us the result, right? So
Yes.
does it implies that we do not have any data in the EMP table?
No. Yeah. I know. People will get same thought. I know. So actually, your table data, your actual table data is not stored by your stage location. That's what I've told you here. In the architecture part, this is a temporary memory location. This is temporary memory location. The stable location is different. Table memory location is different.
Okay.
So the actual data you're storing in a snowflake. Here also you're storing in snowflake only, but table data you're not storing in the stage. This one is different. This one is different.
Okay. Is it like let me put it in another way. So yesterday we loaded the data from the console, right? Is the reason it directly went into the actual table, not into the stages?
No, yesterday it was created the stage as well.
Yes, but when as you told, like when we load the files, when we load the data from the files, then only it will push the data into the stages, and then later it will push the data into the actual table.
Correct.
So yesterday, whereas we have loaded the data using the console.
See. Let me show you that one once again. Good question. Sample DB, I'm just going. Employee table, I'm going. Load table, and next, and click on select files. And let's say, where is that? Snowflake training files updated CSV employee one. I have already selected the file. Click on next. Show SQL. See what is happening here. Can you check? Can you tell me what is happening here?
Here is the same put command and
See what is this? @ symbol means what? Stage.
yeah, stage.
Indirectly, this employee1.csv file, where it is keeping in the stage only.
Okay.
Okay, if you load through web interface, you load it manually, you load it through any other interface, doesn't matter. You have to load it through stage. That's it. That is mandatory. That is the rule.
Okay.
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 So now you understood, right? Like other people also, I think, having same doubt. Tables data actually storing in a stage. No, it's not like that. You're not storing your actual table data in the stage. The stage location is different, and table location is different. Table memory is different. Okay.
I still do not understand like what is the use of having if it is not showing up any result when we executed the query as like list at the rate percentile emp, but if
We
it
did
is
not
not
put any file right in this location. We did not put any file.
okay.
I did not load any data from my local to this stage, and I did not load the data into the employee table through this stage. You can use it. See, object is created by Snowflake. You can use it if you want. That's it. That's what they're trying to say.
Okay. Okay.
Object is created, stage object is created. You just use it if you want.
Okay.
Otherwise, leave it.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'll try to create a named interface. After that, you'll understand it clearly. Okay. So let me try to create this stage. So for creating the stage, this is the command you have to use. Okay. Create
But Shiva, three questions. So yesterday you loaded the data into table, right, through file. In that case, we should see file in a stage, right? So why we not? I mean, why we are not able to see that file in stage?
The data, na? Okay, okay. Oh, you mean to say that, okay, we have loaded the data into this @emp file.
Yes.
So this is not table stage actually. This is not a table stage. When you try to use it, I can say, when you try to load it through web interface, it will try to create some temporary stage. And this temporary stage will be purged automatically once the data load is completed.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, see here, it is using @emp here, but it is while fetching the data, it is using @ directly. See, they are using different concept to load the data through interface, through web interface. This is not tables. I cannot say that this is simply. I cannot comment that okay, this is table stage and this is norm. This is something like user stage. So they are using some different concept here.
And one more thing, like in the bottom command, like the purge is called a true, right? So does it, when the file has successfully loaded, does it?
Successfully loaded? See, they're trying to use this command. Purge equal to true means automatically the stage will be purged in the backend. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
They will clear that. They will clear that files in the backend.
Okay.
Okay.
And please use the sysadmin role. Like I think you're still on account admin role.
Oh, no, sysadmin only, right? We are using.
Oh yeah, sorry. On top of it, like
see, this role is applicable to this particular worksheet actually. 1 second.
okay.
So this is at account level. Okay, this is at worksheet level. Okay, so we have to always consider this worksheet level role only. Okay, so whenever you do admin activities, then you have to change this one, not this one. Okay, so okay, for my worksheet, I've selected sysadmin role only. Okay, now let me try to create a stage. Create or replace stage, your stage name. What is your stage name? Let's say I wanted to create one stage like CSV files I wanted to load, right? So I'm trying to take the stage. So I'm trying to take like CSV underscore stage. This is what I wanted to create. Okay, this is the command you have to use. Okay, just execute this. What happened? CSV stage successfully created. We have some other properties to define here, but I'm not defining that one. Simply, I'm trying to create a stage without defining any of the property. Okay, now how to query this one? Do we have any files? Just now I've created this stage. Do we have any files in this stage? No. No. How to query this? List at the rate your stage name. What is your stage name? CSV underscore stage. This is the one. Okay, named internal stage you have to represent with the @ symbol only, right? So just execute this one. What happened? Currently we don't have any file. Okay, now I wanted to load employee1.csv file. Can I load it? Yes. First, let me put my local file into stage location. From there, I will try to load it into target table. My employee is the target table. I will load it later. So in order to load the data from local to stage, you have to use put command. Okay, put file : // okay, and you have to give fully qualified name of the file. Fully qualified name is you have to give complete path. Okay, so my complete path here is this one, CSV, and I'm selecting this entire path. Okay, so just Control C, copy it and paste this path here and / which file you wanted to load. I wanted to load employee1.csv. This is the file I wanted to load. Okay, put this file. Where do you want to put this file? Into stage location. Which stage location? In CSV stage location. You have to mention that. Okay, CSV underscore stage. This is the command you have to use. Put this file into the stage location. That is the meaning of this command. Okay, so just give semicolon and try to execute this command. See what happened here. This command is not supported from UI. That's what I have told you right yesterday. Except put command and get command, all other commands are supported through web interface. Okay, now what we have to do? Now where should I run this command?
CLI.
Terminal or in DB. Okay, so let me open the DB here so that I can alter the queries very easily. For that, I'm just opening DB here. Let it open. Yeah, it's open. Now SQL worksheet is already opened here. Dev script. Now, what is the first command we need to write here? The moment you open the worksheet in the DB, what is the first command?
Connect, right? We have to connect to
Use command.
Use warehouse and
database.
Okay, so for connecting,
Use
what you have to do is
database.
right click here and you have one thing called connect disconnect option, invalidate reconnect option. If you want to disconnect, you have to click this, and if you want to connect, right, you have to click on this option, invalidate or reconnect. Okay, just click on that one. See, it is trying to connect. See, it has connected. Now, what is the first command we need to write here?
Use database.
Yes, use database name dot schema name. Okay, what is your database name? Sample underscore DB. This is my database name, and my schema name is test underscore schema. This is my schema name. Okay, this is the first command you need to write. Whatever the database and whatever the schema you are using, right? You have to mention that first, and after that you do whatever you want. Okay, I wanted to know what is the default role it is using. Why? Because I have to use sysadmin role, right? Every time I create the object. So for that, I'm trying to check the role here. Select, what is the command? Current underscore role. This is the command we have to use to know the role, what role it is using. Currently it is using sysadmin only. Why? Because do you remember one thing? Yesterday, while connecting this one, while giving that connection information, we have mentioned clearly sysadmin it has to use. Did you observe that? If you don't use sysadmin there, it by default it will try to use account admin role. So which I don't want to do. So that is the reason why I've given explicitly there sysadmin role. Now it is trying to use sysadmin role only. Now I'll try to run this put command as it is here. Okay, so copy this and paste it here. Now run this. What happens? You see. See, it is trying to load the data into stage. Yes, it is loaded. So how can I confirm that it has loaded the data? The status you can see as uploaded. My local file got uploaded into stage location. That's it. That is what happened till now. Okay, and you see one thing. I have loaded employee1.csv. In the target location, this is the file. Employee1.csv.gz. That means your source file got compressed in this in the stage location. That is what the meaning of this. Okay, so that compression will happen automatically in the back. Okay, if you don't want to do the compression, we have some other properties. I'll tell you later. Okay, so the source file size is 729 bytes and the target file size is 358 bytes. Why? Because it is compressed, right? If you compress, obviously the file size will be decreased, right? So it is showing 358 bytes. This is in bytes actually. And source file compressed source file is the plain file or is it compressed file? It is plain file only. So source compression is none. And target compression gunzip. .gz is there, right? That means gunzip. And the status is uploaded and the file is encrypted. This is very important. See, your data is fully secured within Snowflake. That's what they're trying to say every time. Nobody can hack your data simply like that. Okay, so once you put your data inside the Snowflake, the data is encrypted, fully secure, I can say. Whether you're putting your data in stage location, you're putting your data in the table location, wherever you're using your data, wherever you're putting your data, inside Snowflake, it is encrypted. That's it. Okay, so this is about the put command. Okay, so if I say this command, don't think that we have only this option in the put command. We have other options also in the put command to use. Okay, let me try to open in the documentation. So for that, you need to refer the documentation. Okay, so let me try to search here put command. You need to follow this syntax every time I tell the command. See here, put file, okay, / path of the file and file name internal. This is what we have used till now, right? And all these options are optional here. Optional here. Okay, now parallel. So how many cores or how many threads you wanted to initiate here to load that file? So that thread number of threads you can mention here. By default, it is 4. If at all, if you want to increase it to 8 or 16 or 32, you can increase it. So that parallelism will get increased. Let's say if you have 100 files, if you put 4 only here, it will take more time. Then what I will do is instead of putting 4, I'll try to put it 32. Then what will happen? It will try to load a bit faster. So that means parallelism you can increase with the help of this option. Okay, and one more option we can use with the put command is auto compress equal to true or false. By default, it is true. That is the reason why it is compressing automatically with gunzip. If you don't want to compress the data in this stage location, then you have to make it false. Make it false. Okay. If your source file is already compressed, if it is already compressed, Snowflake doesn't know that what is that compression technique it is trying to use. You have to convey to Snowflake, boss, my source file compression is jet standard or broadly or gunzip. It is already compressed. That compression technique we have to tell to Snowflake using this option. Because my source file is compressed with this technique. You please try to consider. Like that we are trying to convey here. Okay, and next one is overwrite. So you already have that employee1.csv file. You have done some updated in your local updates in your local, and you wanted to load updated file into your stage location. Can you do that? Okay, let me try to use this. Let me try to use this command one more time. Okay, then what will happen? Will it overwrite the file, whatever is there in my local? Will it overwrite? See what happened here. So it is taking this much of time. Yeah. See what is the status here? It is skipping. That means it is not loading this file again into the stage. It is simply skipping. So if forcefully, if you want to load the same file again into the stage location, right? Now you have to use overwrite option. Okay, overwrite equal to true. This is the option you have to use. Then it will try to overwrite that existing file. See here, the status we got it as uploaded now. That means before writing this file into the stage location, it will try to validate does it have any file like this. If the file, if it doesn't have any file, then it will try to simply write it. Otherwise, it will try to skip it. Okay. So as per your requirement, you have to use this option, sir. But these are all these options are not mandatory actually here. As per your requirement, you have to go. Let's say I don't want to compress the file in the stage location. Then what you have to do? Auto compress equal to true. Auto compress equal to false. Then what will happen here? So let me try to use overwrite option and auto compress option both at a time. Okay. Now I'm trying to copy this property here, and I'll try to use this. Auto compress equal to false. Now what will happen? It will try to overwrite that file and without compression. Okay, just let me execute this. What happened? See, the status is uploaded here. And if you do, how do you see the files in the stage location? Okay, the employee1 file got loaded into stage location, right? Now, how do you see that file? How to see that file? List command.
List at the rate.
List at the rate. If you use at the rate symbol, Snowflake understands that, okay, I have to display something from the stage. Okay, now from which stage you wanted to see that files? What is that stage name? CSV stage, right? CSV underscore stage. This is the stage name. Okay, I'm just querying this and see what happened. Employee1.csv is there. Employee1.csv.gz is also there. Both files are there. So this time, second time when I run that query, what happened? It is not compressed. Why? Because auto compress equal to false option I've used. Okay, so that is the exhibit is trying to load like this. First time when I load this one, it has compressed. So it's all depend on the properties that you are using in the command. But these properties are not mandatory. It will go with the default properties when you try to write the command simply like this. Okay, now next, can we see the data from this stage? Okay, I have this file in my stage location. Let's say I have this file at least. Okay, now can I see the data in this file?
I think yes.
We can see the data. Okay, how to see the data? For that, we need to use this command. Select. Okay, how do you query the table? Select star from a table, right? In the same way, here also you have to use select from this stage. Okay, but we are not supposed to use star here. Okay, if you use star, it will throw error. Okay, so let me try to execute this command. See what happened here. So select with no columns. It doesn't understand what is star here. So instead of star, what we need to do is we need to mention here $1, $2, $3 like that. How many our columns are there in the file? That many number of dollar numbers we have to use here. If you have 100 columns, you have to use $100. Okay, so in this way, you can query the data from this stage location, from this file, I can say. Okay, $1 is nothing but first column from the file. $2 is nothing but second column from the file. Third column, fourth column, fifth column, 100 columns like that. If you have, even if you have 1,000 columns, you can query 1,000 columns. Okay, just query this. What happens, you see. Blindly, it will read the data. That's it. See here, it is trying to read the data from the file. How many records are there total? 16 records are there, including your header part. See, can you check that? Where is that file? Yeah, this is the one, employee one. See, including header, we have 16 records. It is reading the same way. Blindly, it is reading. Okay. In this way, you can like see the data. You can check the data. Now you may ask a question. Can we do transformations on top of this data? Yes, we can do transformations. Okay, before I discuss that, what is happening here? First record is header part. The first record is header part. So do we really load this header part also into the table? Do we really load this header part also into the table?
No.
No. But how does Snowflake know that it is not supposed to load the data into the target table? It is not supposed to load the header part into the target table. How does Snowflake know that?
I think, is there any option to skip that one when we put the file? Like skip header?
We have discussed, right? While loading the data through web interface, I've created one new object. What is that?
File format.
Yes, exactly. We have to convey that information to Snowflake via file format. Okay, so that is the use of file format. Okay, now let me try to check the file formats if I have any. Okay, I think yesterday we have created, right, CSV underscore file underscore format, where we mentioned skip header equal to 1. Okay, now I'm just checking here, show file formats. This is the command you have to use to list the see the list of file formats. Currently, I don't have any file format, I think, in the in this database. Is it? We didn't. We have created, I think, yesterday, right? Did we drop it? I don't think so. Let me check here. Where is this one? This one, right? Sysadmin role, compute. Okay, I think that was created by account admin role. Yes. If I change role from sysadmin to account admin here, I can able to see that stage, I think. Let me check. So show, sorry, file formats, right? File formats. Okay, so because of this command, it is throwing error. I need to run this individually. See here, the file format created by account admin, that is the reason why I'm not able to see that file format here. That is the issue that I was telling yesterday. Never ever create any object with account admin. You cannot access that object with child roles. So when you try to load the data through web interface, it will try to load the data through account admin role only. Now let me try to create my own file format here anyway. Okay. So how to create the file format? What is the syntax for that one? So create or replace. Okay, what is that object type? File format we need to create, right? File format. And what is that file format you wanted to create? CSV underscore file underscore format. Okay. Underscore, let's say your batch number is 40. I'm trying to create with 14. CSV file format 14. This is just a batch number, that's it. Okay, so okay, now create or replace file format name. So at the end, what we need to mention is type equal to whether it is CSV or XML or JSON, Yavro, Parquet, like that we have to mention. So now what we are trying to load here, CSV file, right? We need to mention the type is CSV here. Okay, CSV. This is the command we need to use. We have some other properties as well, like skip header, row record delimiter and row delimiter. All those things we can mention. But simply I'm trying to create like this. Simply I'm trying to create this and see what will happen. Okay, so execute this. What happened? File format got created successfully. Okay, now for now, show file formats command I'm running. So what happened here? CSV file format underscore 14 got created. In which database it got created? SampleDB. In which schema it got created? Test schema. What is the type here? CSV. Who is that owner? Sysadmin is the owner for that. Okay, and these properties, whatever I mentioned, right, that will display in JSON format here. Okay, we'll see it later. Now I can describe this file format here to see the properties. So for describing that one, describe file format. Okay, what is that file format you wanted to check? CSV file format, right? Okay, I'm just copying and pasting this one here. See, you have to write this command. Okay, for describing that. See, these are all the options are there in this particular file format. See, what is the default property it has taken? CSV. Sorry. Okay. Okay, what is the default property type here in the file format? CSV. So what is the property that we have given? CSV one. Okay, now even if you mention or if you don't mention type equal to CSV here, it doesn't matter. Even if you don't mention this one, by default it will take CSV one. By default file format is CSV one. But if at all, if you want to create JSON or XML file format, you have to explicitly mention that. Explicitly mention that. Okay, so for that, okay, if you mention, even if you mention, no worries, that's okay. It will take CSV only. CSV only it will take. XML means XML it will take. So if you mention XML here, it will try to load these properties as per XML category. If you try to put here type equal to JSON, as per JSON file properties, it will try to consider. I'll show you anyway later that one. Whenever we try to load the JSON file format, I'll try to show that one. But here, what I wanted to say is, even if you mention here type equal to CSV or not, nothing will happen. By default, it will consider CSV only. Okay, here skip header equal to what it is taking? 0. I did not mention any skip header property here. That is the reason why by default it is taking 0 1. Now I wanted to change this property to 1. Okay, now anyway, file format is already created. Now can I alter that one? Can I alter that file format and change it to 1? Yes, I can alter it. Okay, how to alter that one? Alter file format. Okay, which file format you wanted to alter? CSV file format underscore 14. Okay, so what do you want to alter? Set. Okay, what property you wanted to alter here? Skip header. Just copy this property from here and paste it here and equal to whatever the value that you want to assign, give it that. Give that. Okay, set skip header equal to 1. That's it. See, I'm altering this one. After creation of this file format, I'm trying to alter. Or at the time of creation, file format creation also, you can mention that property skip header equal to 1. If you know that property. If you don't know, alter it later. See, file format successfully altered. If you go and see describe option here in the description, you can see here property values 1 here. Property values 1. See why I'm discussing about all these file formats here. While reading the data from this stage, it is trying to read header part also. I don't want Snowflake to read the header part. Now what I have to do is I have to use this file format here. Whatever the file format you have created, right? That file format you have to use it here so that it will not read that header part. Okay, so how to do that? So you need to mention clearly file underscore format equal to. So since this is select command, right, we have to use arrow symbol here. So file format equal to what file format you have already created. Sorry, Control Z. So this is the file format I've already created. This one we need to mention. Put this one in the brackets. So this is the command we need to use to select the data from the stage location. Okay, now if I run this command, what will happen? How many records it will try to read? 15 records only. Is it reading the header part as well? No. How does Snowflake know that it is not supposed to read that part? Based on file format. Via file format, we are communicating that information. Hey, don't read that first line. Got it? Any question here? In the file format and selecting the data?
I have questions on the put file commands, but is it okay
Sorry?
now? I have question on the put file into the stage.
Tell me.
Let's say suppose if I want to load for the second time when I'm loading the same stage, if I want to skip the already existing records and only load the records which are not in the stage,
Yes.
can you do that?
Yeah. No, we cannot do that.
And
We don't have such option here.
can we update the stage data or no?
No. It will only replace the old with the new file. That's it.
Okay.
You don't have that control.
And if we, let's say suppose if there is any space in between the directory names, does it gonna take it like?
Okay, let me try to give like this.
In your
let me try to CSV space directory
no,
name.
not here.
Okay,
I was
sorry,
talking
not here,
about
right? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, put file.
Okay, Snowflake underscore files is there, right? So let's say I'm trying to use space here. Okay, now what happens? You try to see here. It will not accept.
Okay.
It is throwing error.
Yes.
Snowflake understands that the query is ended here only.
Yes. Can we do some
The
kind
command
of?
is not completed. We have
Can
to
we do
use
some kind
underscore.
of double quotations or something like that? Does it still accept this?
Yes, we can use that. We can still use that. Okay, let me try to use double quotes here up to here. Okay, so I've already removed that one, right? I don't know whether I'm able to see that. Okay, removing that. So let me try to run this. See, still it is throwing error.
Okay.
Unexpected files updated.
So the only
For
way
table
is
names and column names, you can use this without underscore option. For path, you need to have underscore set. That is mandatory.
And only way to update the stage file is by overriding, I mean like to replace the existing file.
Yes, overriding the
stage.
file, overwrite option, and it will try to blindly replace the old file. That's it.
Okay.
So in that case, by just basically looking the file but not the data. It's
One
just
second, please. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, tell me. Someone is asking something.
So in that case, so whatever we have there, so it's just basically looking the file names, but not the data in that files. So that's the reason we can't alter anything in the data wise. The same question I was following through Vijay, which if you wanna, for instance, I got a new data than existing one, and I can't do that because so it's
Yes, it will look for the file name only. It will not look for the data in the file.
data in the
It is
files.
absolutely right.
We
It will
can,
check the metadata actually in the backend.
okay.
And if the metadata, if the file is there, it will try to overwrite it. If it is not there, it will simply write it. See, it has to compare, right? See, before inserting any data, before placing any file into the stage location, it has to check whether that particular file is there or not. Where
Yeah,
it will
it's
check
comparing
that.
the file name. Right. So as you said, just comparing the file name, but not the
Correct.
existing
Not the
data
data. Yes, correct. That's what I told you, right? So we don't have that control. Data level control we don't have.
on the stage. Yeah. So when you created the file format, you created the CSV file format, right?
Yes.
So after you created that, we see that properties in that in it. When you run the describe, we see that
Yeah.
property first
Yes.
line, and so something that once we create the file format, it's enough. So all the properties comes into that, whatever the file format we created.
Yes. Exactly.
It doesn't matter. Okay.
Exactly.
There is nothing we can
It
do.
will try to load the properties as per the CSV file format. If you give JSON, the properties are different again. If you use XML, the properties are different again.
Oh, okay. So that again depends on the file format, what kind of file format I'm creating. Okay.
Yes. That's what I was saying, right? If you use JSON,
Then different. Okay.
if you use JSON, it will try to load the properties according to JSON one only.
Okay. So basically
Here, I'll
depends on the source file properties are arranged.
I'll show you practically how to do that. Okay. So let me try to create one more file format here. I'm just replicating this command. Okay. Create or replace file format. Let's say I'm trying to use JSON here. JSON file format 14. Okay. So let's create this. Oh, sorry. I need to mention here type equal to JSON. I'm extremely sorry. Type equal to, if you don't mention type equal to,
Yeah, even though we can mention it, it's
but
going to show us, right?
again CSV will be created. So we need to explicitly mention here within single quotes was you try to create JSON file format, not CSV. See here. So the JSON file format created successfully. If I describe this file format, right? JSON file format, the properties you can observe here. See, file extension, date format, time format, timestamp format, binary, trim space, null if. Do we have anything like field delimiter, column separator? Do we have such options here?
I don't see.
Do we have such options here? No. These properties are belongs to JSON related. Skip outer array, allow duplicate, compression, null if. How do you want to replace that null values? Those things it is changing the properties.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
This is
So
what the named internal stage, right? Which we created and we just did so far.
yeah. So far we have loaded the data into internal stage. From there we have loaded the data. From there we have to load the data into target table. Anyway, target table loading we'll see it later. Okay. Now what I wanted to do is I'll quickly wrap up in 5 minutes. Bear with me, please. Okay. Now what I'll do is we have loaded this data directly into the staging location with a name called CSV. Employee1.csv. Okay. Now while loading the data, I don't want to load the data directly into CSV stage. I wanted to create some subfolder. See, I have business. Okay, in my business, I have different departments. Marketing is there, purchase department is there, procurement department is there, and finance department is there. So they wanted to load their files in separate subfolders. Can we do that? Can we do that? Yes. We can create a subfolder inside the stage location, but we cannot do it directly on the fly. It will create. Now what we have to do is, while writing the data into the staging location, you have to mention that subfolder name. That's it. Okay. Now let's say I'm just putting here. This is employee means HR related data, right? I'm just putting HR here. Okay. I can execute this command here simply like this. So what happened? The data got loaded into HR subfolder. Okay, the status is uploaded, and if you see list @CSV stage, then what happened here? So inside the CSV stage, it is trying to create one subfolder called HR, and inside that one, it is trying to load the file employee1.csv.gz. So like this, you can create even subfolders while loading the data into the stage location. Okay, now if at all if you want to query the data from this file, right, you have to use this complete path. Okay, CSV stage /HR/emp1.csv.gz. I'm trying to use the same thing here. See, just query the data. Same thing. Say you can. What happened here? Okay, @ symbol is missing, right? So this is mandatory. @ symbol is mandatory. Otherwise, it will not understand. See here, it is reading the data. Happily, it is reading. Got it? So like that, you can create any number of subfolder inside this one. If I want, I can create one more subfolder, my_subfolder, my subfolder. I can do like this also. Okay. See here, uploaded. Okay, and if you do list @CSV stage, see inside HR subfolder again, it has created one more subfolder, that is my_sub, and inside that one, it is trying to load data. And I can happily query the data from this one. Okay, @ is missing again, @ you have to use and execute this. See what happened? It is trying to query the data, 15 records. It is skipping the first record because of this file format. Got it? Yeah, that's it guys for today. So tomorrow we'll see how to apply the transformations on top of this data and how to load this data into the target table with different options. Okay, yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, you can ask them.
No, I'm good, Shiva. Thank you.
Let me stop recording.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah, same question. So if you get that scenario in your